live. Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday.
Good morning.
Welcome to episode 4 of Sober Mind. I've got my very special guest, my lovely wife, Judi, here. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Today's episode is going to be pretty cool. We're going to do some Q&A. We're just going to sit back, have a chill time. Judy's got our coffee. We both have a Pink Lady Apple kombucha that we're going to drink. It'll be nice to have a guest here, so while she's talking, I could take a drink of a beverage. Good morning, Kim. All right. Housekeeping. I think we're good. We got a third camera view for you guys coming up, which I'll showcase here in a sec. Got some good feedback from last week's episode. Dramatic feedback. It was a deep one. Anyway, sometimes we got to talk about the deep subjects. Okay. Before we get started, I just want to say I love you.
I love you too.
Thank you for being here with me, and thanks for being open to discussing our 21 years of drama.
Our alcoholic career.
Yeah. We had a good run.
Glad we retired.
Yeah, we did some damage. Okay, so I'm going to be asking Judi a few questions. She's going to be asking me a few questions. Some of them, I have no idea what she's going to be asking me. I gave her a heads up on 2 of the questions that I'm going to ask her, and then one of them she does not know. So I got sweat on my lip. Okay.
You do know I haven't prepared questions for you. They're just going to come off the fly during conversation.
That's fine. We could do this.
Okay.
Okay, let me get going here. First of all, how nice is it to wake up again on another Saturday without a wicked hangover?
Oh, blessedly lovely. It's very nice.
We can get some stuff done.
You can wake up before 10 or 11.
Without your kidney going, hey man.
Yeah, and your liver outside smoking a cigarette flipping you off. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, caught my liver on the front porch drinking a coffee and smoking a cigarette many times. Looking at me like, what have you done, bro?
Dude.
Okay, let me get into the questions here. Sorry for getting a slow start. You guys have seen this is my first guest. I'm trying to figure out the rhythm for it. I gotta say, it is much easier to start out having someone that's talking with me back and forth. So here we go. Here goes the hard-hitting questions.
Oh, right off the bat. Okay.
Yeah. Well, did you want to do like a?
No. Bring him on.
You want to tell jokes? You want to sing a song?
No. God, no.
Okay. Hold on. We got to get to the actual views. Let's go through them. Got our new side cam view. Got our rear view. Judi hates the rear view, but
Well, it's just because I like looking at your face and looking at the back of your head. I keep wanting to change it so that I can see your face.
I know.
That's just me.
It gives the intimacy though for it all. All right, here's in stream. Okay, I got my subscriber count up there. I got a friendly reminder from Ed when I was talking to him. I did say that I would put a banner with the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline information up, so it is there. 988. I checked out the website again. It's got some interesting stuff. Great options out there for folks that are going through crises and having suicidal thoughts or ideation and all that good stuff. So it feels like my public service announcement. Remember, if you know someone out there that's struggling, point them towards some help. It's available. Okay, and check it out. 22 subscribers. We had 16 last week. I posted a YouTube short, which I'm trying to do every day. For those of you that don't know what that is, I think they started about a year ago or so. and it's the TikTok competitor. So when you go to the YouTube app and you click short, you can upload for 15 seconds max. So I do kind of what I'm going through in the morning and a quick mental health update. I did one, it got like 13 views. The one I did the other day got 1.5 thousand views.
It's pretty awesome.
Before noon. And I was messing around with this software that we use to stream. And I looked on here and it said 22 subscribers. I was like, I wonder if like some friends and family subscribed. I went to the dashboard and I saw that there was 1.5 thousand views on a short. So that's cool. Just a reminder. If you know someone that might be interested in stuff like this, I think it's a very intimate format to get together on Saturdays. We may increase the volume of these later on. I don't know, but for right now, it's a really fun hobby to look forward to on Saturdays.
And thank you everybody for watching.
Yes, thank you.
And subscribing.
Yeah. Okay. Babe.
Yes.
We've been married since September 2nd, 2002.
Correct.
That wasn't a question. I was hoping I knew it. Which we affectionately always celebrate on Labor Day, because we did get married on Labor Day. So no matter the date, we always do Labor Day because it's a weekend.
It's just one big holiday.
We used to get super drunk on Labor Day weekends.
Ooh, boy.
So we've been together for a couple decades, and we started to drink really heavily or excessive, in my opinion, when we lived in Fairfield, California.
Yes, I would agree with that. Definitely.
I know we got into it pretty heavy on the weekends, more or less, when we lived in Walnut Creek and won't bore you all folks with the
Northern California.
Yeah, geography. But so from the time we got married, 2002 to about 2005, 2006, I think we had a grasp on the consumption. We got carried away quite a bit, though.
Yeah, the wreck of your truck was a pretty much carried away event. But I think for the most part we kind of had a handle on it. You never really have a handle on it, but I think at that point we thought we had a handle on it.
So I had a Toyota pickup truck. I didn't know you were going to bring that up, but here we are.
It's kind of relevant.
Yeah, I got pretty drunk on a weeknight visiting a friend who lived up in the hills by San Francisco, and coming home, I hit the brakes going around a dirt road, and I drove it off of a cliff. It had to be about 120 feet. I went through the trees, just smashed down on the bottom. I don't know how I did not get injured or killed.
Neither do I. I'm very grateful you didn't. But that truck was totaled.
Yep. I went back up to the friend's house and passed out. Had to call Judi the next morning, and we never discussed the fact I made up kind of a lie. I said that I hit the brakes because a deer ran out in front of me. That's not true. Yeah, I carried that lie around for a couple of years. I can't remember when I told you, or if you just figured it out. Did you just figure it out? Did you know?
I kind of guessed, yeah. I kind of guessed. Not until years later when we were fully into our submersion of booze and alcohol and driving at 2 o'clock in the morning when we should not have been,
Yeah.
But
Anyway, that driving the truck off the cliff was not a rock bottom. I did not care.
No, which is surprising. I think, yeah. Well, we were still relatively young and naive and thought we could control it.
So fast forward a few years. Here's my question to you.
Okay.
did you worry about me?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. There was... Well, that time I definitely worried. And there was a couple other times throughout that whole episode that did worry me. I think the most...
What episode?
Our drinking career.
Oh.
the whole time. I think I started to get more worried later on, more recently, probably since we've been in Missouri, that I've started to get really worried about the drinking. Not so much, well, both physical and mental. Physical, it takes a toll on the body, as you know, through the skin and through the liver and the organs and the inflammation and all that kind of stuff. But also mentally, I was getting worried, not for both of us, because we were both in it together. So yeah, I was definitely getting worried.
You have any other examples of stuff that I did or actions that I performed?
Yeah. I can remember a certain Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah.
that we were gonna smoke a turkey, and so you got up at 5 o'clock in the morning and got the turkey prepped and ready and in the smoker and started drinking at 5 o'clock in the morning, and by noon you were already in the bed passed out, and I was trying to deal with a turkey and not really knowing how to smoke at that time, and it was a train wreck. Poor Dad and I were stuck trying to figure out how to do everything, and I think you woke up later on that evening after everything was already done and we had already eaten what we could eat.
Yeah,
that was one of those worry moments. There was a couple other ones. Tequila Rose brings up a worry one. You remember Tequila Rose?
In Concord?
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll save that story for another time.
That was another episode.
So the Thanksgiving issue, yeah, I woke up at 3 o'clock and started drinking, smoking a turkey, because that's what you do when you're smoking meats. You start drinking. Anyway, I was hammered. Thanks for saying noon, but it was like 9:30, 10 o'clock. I was like, oh shit, I'm about to pass out. I went to bed. I didn't wake up till like 5 or 6, 7 that night.
Yeah.
I was embarrassed.
Yeah.
But again, it was, then I started drinking again.
Yeah. Well, what are you going to do?
I just told everyone, hey,
wake up with a hangover?
I got super tired.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ed says, did your friends ever express worry or concern? No.
No, our friends were, I think, enjoying the party as much as we were.
Yeah, that's a good question, but no, drink. That's the circle of drinking friends that we live in. It's no one's ever going to talk about that. We all know we have a drinking problem. We all look at each other and think, man, we are all alcoholics. But
let's do another shot.
Yeah, but and you put it into the context. Okay, we don't want to digress. We got to get back to the Thanksgiving thing. The social circle of being a home brewer, which is a hobby disguised, alcoholism disguised as a hobby.
Well, we do have some friends who are actual, bona fide brewers, and that's their job. That actually, believe it or not, don't drink that much.
Yeah. I know a couple, which we shall not name, but yeah, there's some folks that are home brewers that can maintain their consumption. We could not. So anyway, the social circle of the friends, Ed, that's not something you talk about.
We were on our journey, and they're on their journey. I mean, if they were to reach out for help, we would definitely be there. But as far as I think anybody expressing worry, I never heard anybody express any worry for us.
There's no way they could. They're in as deep or deeper. That's
very true.
That's the cliche of the pot calling the kettle black.
And if they had to look at us and criticize us, they would have to internalize that and look at themselves as well, which nobody really wants to do.
hence the reason why we lost all of our friends when we quit drinking.
Yes.
Because
Well, there's a couple friends that we're still in contact with that are still
they're watching
good friends
right now, as a matter of fact.
Yeah. Hi.
Patrick says alcohol provides the best feedback loop. Feeling shame? Here is the fix. Repeat in infinitum. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Going back to the worry, that Thanksgiving, I got up. I was super embarrassed, but then just continued to drink and never really acknowledged it. So that was a behavior that worried you. Did I worry you anytime after that?
Yeah.
Thousands of times.
Yeah. I think a lot of the worries were when we would go out and drive home after we'd been drinking copious amounts, and knock on wood, we made it home without killing us or somebody else. That I think was just somebody, the universe, whatever you want to call it, was looking out for us, because we were pretty hammered a lot of those times driving home.
Yeah, in 20 years of extremely hard drinking, we never got pulled over. We never went through a DUI checkpoint. We never got into any kind of minor fender bender. We never hit an object. Nothing. We never, man. Thank God. We never killed anybody. We never hurt ourselves or killed each other. But man, you guys, there's times when we got home and then we woke up the next morning. We had no idea how. We don't know, like, did you drive? Did I drive?
Yeah, we had no memory of actually getting home.
Where's my phone? Where's your purse?
Yeah.
Just horribly irresponsible behavior. And remember, we weren't young. This was in our 40s. So
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you have any worries about me when we were heavily drinking?
Yeah, there was times when you get excited or nervous, you would drink can after can after can of beer, like, really fast. You could have easily, I'm not exaggerating, 6 beers within like an hour and a half.
Oh yeah.
And then you'd start to get drunk super early, and I would get frustrated, and
because we weren't on the same level.
And then I would get up to go get a beer, and you're like, "Could you give me another beer?" I'm like, "Jesus Christ, man!" But what am I supposed to say? Like, get drunk slower. We have a lot of night ahead of us.
Yeah. Well, of course, I was also smoking pot on top of it, so.
Yeah. Which made for Judi being wildly unresponsive and semi-lucid many times.
Yeah. As one of our friends says, cross-faded.
Yeah.
I would get cross-faded often.
I did. I was thinking about this. The one event that came up was when we were out drinking with a couple. They're not watching. We haven't been friends in a long time. They did something super weird. The wife was embezzling money, and we found out all kinds of bizarre shit. Anyway, that's not my story. But we got back from their place and continued to drink, and woke up the next morning, and Judi woke up, I don't know, 10, 11 o'clock, and she's like, I can't, I've got the shakes. I can't drink like that. What she wanted to say was, I want to quit drinking.
Yes.
But then we took a shower and had some Bloody Marys and got over that. Jumped into the next session.
Yeah.
And that, I think that's a topic for a whole nother discussion. Maybe we could queue up as why we never.
Well, the big one is fear.
Yeah.
Huge.
So bizarre. There's so many times I've told you guys I'd wake up, Judi would be in bed, I'd be in bed, I'd be looking away from her, my face buried in the pillow, and I would just be gently sobbing and crying with anxiety and depression and just a horrible hangover, going, I can't do this anymore. But that went on for years, and I could never bring myself to. I still analyze that. I don't know if it was fear. I don't know what it was, but I couldn't bring myself to look at you and go, I have to quit drinking. I can't do this anymore.
I couldn't either. And I would wake up, go out to the kitchen, and I was drinking caffeine at the time, and so while I was sitting there shaking, trying to, pour a cup of coffee, I was thinking, oh, maybe it's something. I was completely, deliberately not noticing that it was the DTs. I knew deep down inside that it was the DTs, but I was deliberately not paying attention to it.
Yeah.
Thinking, oh, it's just caffeine. Well, I had it before I had a cup of coffee, so.
Well, here we are. Proud of us. At the end of this month, it'll be a year and a half.
Yeah. I can't believe it.
Okay. How did our alcoholism affect our marriage?
Oh, boy. Well, there was a lot of not being forthright with each other, a lot of not being honest with each other, as far as, our own level of how we felt and how we wanted to not drink, and we just kept drinking for longer than either one of us could have if we just would have been honest and open with each other and decided, I really want to quit drinking, but we never did. I think it crippled us both emotionally during our relationship. I'm definitely more open with you now and more comfortable with you being open with me without getting worried or insecure than I was when we were heavily drinking. And I always thought that I couldn't be myself and be who I wanted to be unless I had a couple beers or a bong hit or something. I couldn't be my normal self, and fear that you wouldn't like my normal self if I was sober, because we were never sober together. We were always drinking,
which is puzzling because I didn't like it when you would get drunk.
Very weird.
So, I'm sorry.
Oh, there's nothing to apologize for. We're good now. It's all in the past. I still am every once in a while, a little leery, but I'm very much secure in myself and my reactions and my emotions when we're together.
What are you leery about?
Oh, just my own insecurities, my own fears, my own. Am I being too much of a harpy? Am I being too critical? Am I being, my own character makeup, not alcohol or anything like that.
You're awesome. I noticed a huge change very quickly with you since it's probably a month after you had quit smoking pot that you would start to become pretty snazzy. I like to call it. You weren't rude or anything. I was just like, oh man, I'm at 50 years old. I'm starting to see emotion and spark come out of Judi that I've never seen in 20 plus years.
Oh, it's always buried.
Yeah, it's been really nice to watch us regrow and sort of replant our roots.
Mm-hmm. Very much so.
I noticed about 3 or 4 months into our sobriety that our intimacy with each other, just overall affection and appreciation for each other, I was seeing that genuine foundation for it, which was, I was like, oh shit, we're a married couple that needs each other to support each other, and dang, I didn't realize that for the last 20 years.
Yeah, which unfortunately is a shame, but I'm so grateful that we're as close as we are now.
It's not a shame. I know I said sorry for everything I put you through. I've apologized in the past, but to your point, and we were talking about this a couple weeks ago, here we are.
Mm-hmm.
There's always, shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Yeah.
Remember, I was reading you an article. There's people that don't quit drinking until way late in their 60s and 70s.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. There's no story to that. It's just do it whenever you can. It doesn't matter.
You're never too old to quit drinking, that's for sure. You're never too young either. It's open.
Yeah. Okay. Here's the question you don't know I'm going to ask you.
Okay, here we go.
Hold on. Administrative stuff. Penny, get out of here. If you guys hear a tippy tapping, it's our little chihuahua walking around. Get. When did you know or think, oh my God, John is a full-blown alcoholic?
I don't think I ever thought well, I knew that deep down inside, but I didn't pay attention to it because, like I said earlier, I would have had to internalize that on myself, and I didn't want to do that until we finally did. I mean, I was just as deep as you were in alcohol and marijuana and that lifestyle, brewing beer and all that, and being connoisseurs of different alcohols and all of that. Excuse me. But I would have had to internalize all of it if I was to look at you and go, oh my God, he's a full-blown alcoholic. I knew it, but it's that whole fear concept. You have to actually look at it dead in the face and accept it for what it is. And that's a huge step before you can make any growth, actually. But I mean, if I was to have to look at you and look you full in the face and say, yeah, you're a full-blown alcoholic, I would have had to do the same thing to myself. And I was not ready to do that until we did. And the main culprit of that was fear. I was afraid of not being the social butterfly. I was afraid of losing a part of my life that it had been a part of my life for 30, 40 years. Well, 30 years. So, and I was afraid I was going to lose part of myself. And I was also afraid that I was going to lose our relationship. Not realizing that quitting drinking actually made our relationship 20 times better.
Yeah, the fear of losing that identity was a big thing for me. It precluded me from actually making that decision. I'd stand out in the garage and I would think, man, I should really change my lifestyle, but I can't. Look, we just brewed this fresh batch of beer. I just made this Keyser with 3 taps on it. How are we supposed to interact with our friends? How are we supposed to have a barbecue and smoke meat and hang out?
Yeah.
And socialize? How do we do that? It's I know it sounds silly to a non-drinker, but it is just like, forget it. It's too much of an effort to even think about. There's so much things that go, what do I tell people we quit drinking and then what happens? What do we do with all this equipment? What do we, it's just, there's a bunch of what ifs and you're like, fuck it. I'll just have another beer. I'll tackle this thing in a couple years or something when the doctor tells me my liver's failing.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'll take it seriously. Then I might have an excuse. You know, after we moved into this house, we were drinking pretty heavily with our two good friends that would come over here. One of them is on right now. I wanted to quit drinking, but I knew that our friendship would...
It would change.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had to take that courageous step forward, and realize that a lot of our friendships were either going to change or just not be there anymore, and just accept that, and accept that it's just going to be different. It's just going to be different. Our life is going to change in a fairly dramatic way, in a good way, but a fairly dramatic way. And sometimes change is very frightening.
Yeah.
But boy, man, taking that step and looking back on it now, thinking, God, I wish I would have done that 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Not that I want to instill any regret. It's just that, you always think back, well, God, if I was to have done this 10 years ago, where would I be now? That, I did this a couple of years ago and I feel great and I've lost weight and, my skin looks good. I'm not swollen up all over the place, and mentally I'm spry and alert. And if I would have done this 10 years ago, where would I be now? But
shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Yeah, man, we lost a ton of weight quickly.
Yeah.
Inflammation went down. Okay, that was it. That was the hard-hitting question.
That was a good one.
I guess it wasn't that hard.
Made me think. That was good.
Yeah, all right. So, thank you for being part of my medication journey with me. What a roller coaster you've been on with me.
Check, please.
I mean it. Thanks for being patient. I told you guys in previous episodes, the SSRIs, antidepressant, anti-anxiety, it just takes so long. And with all the shifts that I had to go through with an adjustment here, an adjustment there, I'd look at Judi and go, I'm changing my medication, I'm doing this. And she's like, all right, well, I'll just buckle in.
I told you, I'm here for the long haul.
Thank you.
Of course, babe.
I love you.
I love you too.
Okay. I'm going to bring up a concern about a family member. But is there anything you want to jump into first, or you just want to see if this sparks a conversation?
No, go right ahead.
Okay. Remember, anything we talk about on the show, I make sure that I get permission first, and if someone doesn't want me to talk about it, I'm never going to do that. So, we bought this house as a joint effort between Judi's dad and myself, and who I call dad. He is my dad. I know. I won't get into the woe is me, since I have no living family members left except my brother, but for all intents and purposes, he is my dad. When we were still drinking, we were concerned about his whiskey consumption, because he would drink a lot of whiskey. And he won't like me saying this, but he's the elderly.
He's an older gentleman.
So his balance is not the best, and when he would get drunk, he couldn't tell that he was hammered. And for us, even though we were drinking, to look at his behavior was to us disgusting. It was embarrassing. So we talked about...
It was worrisome for me.
Worrisome for sure.
It was very worrisome, because he would get drunk, and we've got large fish tanks around, and we have animals, and if we were to go on a trip, and we would call at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and we can tell he's already hammered, all of a sudden we're thinking, okay, he's going to trip and fall because his balance is not very good. He's going to trip and fall and go head first into the fish tank, or the dogs are going to get out, or they're not going to get fed, or it was just all of a sudden our worry level went from 0 to 60. So, yeah, it was worrisome.
Yeah, so we talked about it several times with him, and then there was really never any change. Once we quit drinking, that's a real tough balance for anyone that has to go through this, because, man, how do you... Okay, you're in a household, we quit drinking, so then what do? Run around telling everybody else they have to quit drinking too? That's not how it works. Nobody likes those people. Heads up, don't be that person if you quit drinking. But it's different when you're talking about a family member. And it's different when you see them heavily drinking and it's affecting their mind and their spirit and their body. Mm-hmm. The tough conversation, probably the last one we had with Dad, was, if you continue this, we're going to be wiping your ass in your bed and spoon feeding you tapioca and watching you just go down the dementia train.
Melt and die. It was not a comfortable conversation. It was not a comfortable conversation.
That was our concern, because he's got longevity on his side, and he's very smart. Very smart. We watch Jeopardy every night. Sometimes we get a little bit better than Dad on the pop culture stuff, but
yeah,
when he was drinking, man, he just turned stupid. It's embarrassing to watch. But the final conversation we had was, this is the last conversation we're gonna have with you. That was it. I didn't know what else to do. I said, I'm your son-in-law. I'm not supposed to have to do this.
No, it was a very strange conversation.
And he quit cold turkey. He has a couple beers, literally a couple, at night, 2 or 3. I don't know. But he doesn't. I think he knows that. Well, okay, so we had a couple arrogant bastards one day that are like, 7% ABV. And we could tell, like, oh shit, Dad is tipsy. It's very uncomfortable being a recovering alcoholic and then living with someone that drinks heavily.
That's a hard road to
I react with old emotion too, because it's something that I witnessed all of my family, my mom, my dad, blah, blah, blah. They were always drug addicts and alcoholics, and it's tough to... it's still an old emotion that I try to navigate. So with Dad, it was hurtful, it was frightening. Anyway, he quit. He put down the whiskey, and he has a couple beers now and then. And man, you guys, his health, mentally and physically, is better than it was 10 years ago.
Yeah. And he's in his late 70s. So I mean, he's
he'll be 80 this year.
Yeah. He is a lot more alert and spry now than he was 10 years ago. He goes for his walks. He eats regular meals. He
takes care of himself.
And before, when he was, drinking all the brown liquor, we could tell within 2 days that he hadn't showered and he wasn't taking care of himself. He wasn't eating properly. The list goes on. But now that he's quit, and he just has those 2 beers a night with dinner, his mental acuity is way better than it was. His physical ability, he goes for walks 4 to 5 times a week. I mean, he drives himself all over the place and does his chores, and I could not be prouder of him for the achievement that he's accomplished within just a year and a half.
Next month it'll be a year.
Oh, a year.
Proud of you, Dad. All right.
Emily says my shirt is glowing.
Skin.
Oh, skin. I thought it said shirt. Oh, well, I'm not oily. It's just my skin.
Okay, you had some questions for me.
When we finally decided to quit drinking that day, was there anything in that day that sparked that, okay, we're just going to do this? Was there any kind of catalyst that caused that during that day or a couple days prior that started our journey on sobriety?
So that was a Monday. On the Sunday prior to that Monday, our friends were over. We drank way too much. I woke up that Sunday morning and I think I had a minor seizure.
Okay. I know you had a panic attack.
Yes. But I was starting to have like a nervous system breakdown. And then I ignored it because the only thing that would get rid of it was to drink more. So I went to Price Chopper to get more beer and wine. And I was in one of the aisles because you had asked me to pick up something. And for a few seconds, I completely did not know where I was. My something misfired in my head, and I freaked out. I got the beer, got the wine, got out of there, got home, and started drinking. I was like, okay, back to normal. Whew, that was a close one. And that Sunday, it was like 7 o'clock at night. You asked me to go out in the garage and grab you a beer when I was going to get one, and we had drank a 30-pack on a Sunday.
Yeah, easily.
You remember?
Yeah.
Woke up the next day and I was working from home, luckily, and I was feeling a ton of anxiety, and I was nervous and I was sweating, and you came in or something, and I asked you if you wanted to. No, I think you did. You said let's start drinking on the weekends only.
Yeah, I came in and said, you know what, I think we really should start drinking on the weekends only and not drink during the week. Like that was going to solve anything, but I was throwing it out. Yeah,
and then so I sat there for a bit and I thought about it, and I've told this story before, so I'll edit it, but that was the first. I didn't get too deep into the thought process of it, but that was the first time I realized you were admitting that you had a problem. Mm-hmm. I was like, good, she went first, chicken shit. And then half an hour later, I came into the room after I ruminated on it, and I was like, let's cool. I said, Judi, if you and I quit drinking during the week and then we only drink on the weekends, we're gonna take 5 whole days of not drinking, and we're gonna make up for it on the weekend. I know it. I'll just get shitty hammered, crazy. And remember, because we said, well, we'll start on Friday night.
Yeah.
So we started doing weird bargaining.
Well, plus we went from let's just drink on the weekends to let's do 30 days.
Well, that was the next.
Oh.
See, Judi tried to take my story, asked me a question, took my story.
Jumped right in.
So I was like, that won't work. Then I said, let's try to quit drinking for 30 days. Let's do a 30-day challenge. Half an hour later, I came into the room and I said, let's just quit.
Yeah.
And I think...
Whew. That was fearful. My first reaction was, no, we can't do that.
Yeah.
But then after, I don't know, what about 10 minutes, I came back in and said, yeah, let's just quit.
I had a lot of emotion about that because I was excited, but I was worried that it would only last a day.
Yeah.
But it took off. I think it was the thing that helps so much during that is after, I don't know, 4 or 5 days, we started sleeping so hard.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And then you get like you start waking up and you're like, oh man, this feels good. What else is going on? Oh shit, I'm up at 5, rested, and I'm going for a run.
Look at all the time we have in a day. You never realize how much drinking, when you incorporate it into your life, how much time it takes away from everything. I mean, we had so much time to do all kinds of stuff. We just
Our friends, Emily, she would sometimes they knew our rule of not don't bother us on Sunday. We're not going out. We're not going to do anything. We would always tell them that's our rest and relaxation day. The truth is,
it's a recovery from hangover.
It's a recovery and continuing to get drunk and trying to figure out how to get ready for the work week on Sundays. So lost a lot of time there. Probably lost a lot of good moments, but we're making up for them. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Got one more question?
I didn't have one, no. I'm trying to think of one really quick.
No, I just anything you want to talk about. It's exciting to hear your questions, to see what you've been thinking about.
Oh, man. Well, I can talk about when I quit smoking pot, which was actually 2 weeks after we quit drinking. I still felt like I was cheating somehow. Like he was fully sober, but I still wasn't completely sober. So I decided to quit smoking pot as well. And that I think was a little harder than, believe it or not, quit drinking.
I didn't say anything then. That was another one.
Yeah.
I was like, look, over here getting high. This is some bullshit. I didn't, just for the record, I was not the pot smoker. So
No.
It wasn't. But then when we quit drinking, she would still be in that. And I was like, I don't know how fair this is. She's not going through the suffer.
Nope. I did when I quit though. Oh my God. It wasn't physical. It was all mental. And since I knew it was all mental, it was easier to deal with it. I was pissy. I wasn't spicy. I was straight up pissy. But it's one of those things that when you start on the sober journey, you're not going to really experience it or get into it unless you fully do it. And I didn't feel like I was fully contributing to our journey until I cut it all out.
There's some people that can do pot without the alcohol.
Yeah, but I was a daily.
Yeah,
daily.
As we've said, we cannot do. I do not understand the whole moderation thing.
For us, it's never just one.
So, okay. We've been talking a lot. We've been following the chat. This is some fantastic interaction. Next time we do this, you're going to be the chat reader.
I'm going to have to wear my glasses then because I can't see it from here.
Okay. We're getting ready to do some housekeeping and talk about what's coming up next weekend. Is there anything anyone wants to ask? If so, post it in the chat. I'd love to hear some questions.
I got to say, I don't know if I would have been able to go through this experience if we hadn't have done it together.
Oh, hell no.
Because if I was to try and quit drinking with you still drinking or vice versa,
God.
I don't think we would have accomplished what we've accomplished.
No, I don't. Does not compute.
So I want to thank you for our journey. I really appreciate
Thank you.
your support.
Thank you very much. I love you, and I've been excited to continue to go on this journey.
Yes, it's been pretty awesome. It's been pretty awesome. All the benefits that we've received from doing this has just been amazing.
I know you were caught off guard, so was I. About a month and a half later, after all of my emotions crept up and then the anxiety and panic and depression came in. That was weird. All right, Patrick says, are John and Judi a great couple or the greatest?
I don't know if I'd go that far.
The greatest. All right. Man, that was good.
That was really good.
You did really well.
And thank you.
Thank you. I think we're going to make this more of a regular thing. I think people appreciate having two folks on here. Well, maybe we could get
the dialogue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's easier than me just sitting here rambling and crying.
It's okay.
Okay. Next week, Michelle, Judy's sister.
My sister.
Oh, Kim says, I'm so happy for you too. You look amazing and so healthy. Thank you, Kim.
Love you, Kim.
Okay, Judy's sister, Michelle. Wait, here come the questions. It's obviously by the conversation that the depth of your conversation has deepened since going sober, likely stayed shallow, distant before. Thank you for your honesty, sharing. You both are wonderful. Thank you, Ed.
Thank you. And yes, it was very shallow before.
Ed and I are developing a rabbit hole relationship about French cleats and garage renovation that you guys do not want to be a part of. It is... it's a lot. I'm excited. That's what I'm doing today. Got my dust collection system showing up. After this, I'm going out into the garage and going to tackle it again. But okay, Judy's sister-in-law is coming out Tuesday. She's going to be here for a week. Tradition is she usually comes out for Super Bowl. I'm going to smoke some baby back ribs for her. And so Saturday, because of schedules, Emily, our good friend, is going to be a guest on here. That's going to be riveting because Emily's a hoot. And then Sunday, I'm going to post a schedule. We're having another live stream. So next Saturday, we're having a stream with Emily. Sunday, we're having a Sunday special with Michelle, which I'm super looking forward to. Michelle's going to get deep. I know her. She's going to get...
Yeah.
I'm going to have to turn the volume down on the mic because she's going to be yelling. She's going to be crying.
She gets very voluminous when she talks, so we'll have to stand back like this and move the mic back.
I love it. I can't wait. Okay, that's what's going on. Remember, get this out there to folks. Share the link. Let them know. There's folks out there that are struggling with mental health and sobriety.
They are not alone.
Yep, all kinds of stuff. And maybe this is oh, hey Brian, thank you. Damn, I didn't know Brian was on here. Dang, kind of scared me. Miss you, Brian. Okay, I love you.
Love you too.
You're the greatest.
So
Everyone, thank you for watching. Thank you
so
for
much
tuning
for
in. Thanks for giving us a chance to share this and experiment and see how it all works out. Be well. Be kind to yourself and be kind to each other. Be patient. You are loved. That's it. Have a fantastic rest of your weekend, y'all. And we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye, bye, bye.